Welcome, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us today. Oh, Steve, I hope you're ready for this. Steve, we've got an interview that is going to be amazing. I'm looking
I've
forward
been
to
waiting
this.
for this all week.
Yeah, same. Let's do this. We are going to be talking to Rockette Fox. If you're not familiar with Rockette Fox, watch the video. You're going to be after we're done here. But she has a lot of stuff on her website, rockettefox.com. You should go there, check out some of the stuff. There's a podcast, lots of streams. There's art. There is so many different things that she does, and it's all amazing. I'm not even kidding. I think you can even buy some clothing if you wanted to. We'll talk about all of that stuff and more, because today we're talking to Rockette Fox. Rockette, how are you?
I am doing well, and I am so thrilled to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much. Some of this was a little short notice, but then other parts of it was like, yeah, well, we're going to do this no matter what. Also, I'm sweating already, so it's like 90 degrees here, and I'm wearing a coat, and there's no air conditioning in Seattle, so I'm really hot right now. So yeah, if I pass out, you guys keep going. Just keep at like nothing's ever wrong, all right?
So I've got the local emergency number to your area pulled up right here. So
yeah, it starts with 206, and then the rest of it, I don't know, just 911 or something. I'm not sure. Rockette, so we met because you were brought on board with the weekly cyberpunk stream that Rob Mulligan is doing. And you play our favorite netrunner. You're Hades.
The only netrunner. Yes.
The one and only Hades.
Yes.
And so we'll definitely get more into that. I'm relatively sure, in fact, I know this for a fact, that's not the only work that you're doing that can be found on stream on Twitch, and we'll definitely get into that. But getting back to the very beginning, have you always been a performing type of person? Have you always been doing things like that?
Yes. I would say long enough that I could probably get away with saying always.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
Yeah, no, I started off in a band, a rock and roll band.
Really? What did you play?
Yeah. I played the old vocal cords.
Nice.
So I'm actually a singer, and that was some amount of time ago. And when I would have been 18, question mark, which was again a year or two ago.
Who can remember 5-6 years ago, though? Honestly, I mean, it's so long ago.
Yeah, just a minute ago, something like that. But yeah, after that, I got involved in theater and storytelling and kind of a whole bunch of other different things, and eventually into the wild and exciting world of stream and RPGs, and never really looked back.
Yeah, well, and it does seem to make sense because we talked a little bit off camera before while I was doing setup and stuff like that. And we ended up spending quite a bit of time talking about video games and like growing up with video games and stuff. It almost seems like it's a done deal if you're a natural performer and you're good at what you do and you also happen to like gaming. It just has to go together, right?
It gels so well.
It does, yeah.
It does. And when you're someone who really both loves having a lot of attention, but also hates being physically around people, I mean, it goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a combination of things that you do have to deal with sometimes, I'm sure. I know for me, really quick, I seem like I'm an extrovert, and I do like being around people, but I also need to get away from people sometimes. I'm like, no, I'm done. I need to recharge, so I totally feel that mood. That makes a lot of sense. So
true. And to be clear, I do actually like being around. I'm what the kids these days call an outgoing introvert, in which when I am around people, I am performing, but it does make me very sleepy.
Yes.
So that I have to crawl back under my rock and just turn into my gelatinous state again. And
I always feel it's my social battery. It's like they say when I'm at shows and conventions. on the floor. I can be so outgoing, talking to people. As soon as I get back to my hotel room, that's it. I just want to sleep. That battery's drained.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, every
Oh,
super
yes.
person needs a fortress of solitude. What are you going to do?
Yes.
That's just how it works.
Mm-hmm,
So then when you were first able to combine gaming and performing, what was that first project that you were able to start doing?
Actually, the first streaming I did was with League of Legends,
Oh,
and
nice.
yeah, and I really enjoyed it until I hated it, and yeah, and I super got back into streaming though when kind of during 2020 because my main income job before that was kind of illustration and graphic design, and I'd taken on this really really nice juicy client that was going to give me a lot of projects and a lot of work that were all events based, and how quickly that went away.
That's unfortunate.
And so yeah, but the silver lining to that was that I had been wanting to really focus on kind of my own illustration and putting them with a lot of my own stuff, and I did want to get back into streaming and working on my own channel. So I was like, well, I have nothing else happening now. Perfect time for me to get on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, did you? Because here's the thing. I've never like performed in front of with a band like live, being a fronts person, as it were. How different was it making that change from performing on stage to being in front of a camera and performing that way?
It's not too bad. And I had some years of theater between that and working on some smaller film and such. So I had, and I in high school I was indeed a thespian as well.
Are you a drama nerd like me?
I indeed was Troop 191.
Oh man, I love it.
Yes.
That's right. But yeah, so I was involved in an amount of theater things as well. So to that end, it wasn't a huge shift between being involved in that and moving into taking all of that unbridled chaotic energy and just letting it go free. Yeah. Into the unexpecting faces of people who just have no idea what's about to hit them. And even between that, I did a lot of cosplay and stuff, which part of the fun for me was really being able to not just create the costume, but really get into character and go to the cons and really get into people's faces in totally non-offensive and consensual ways.
Right. And and also again, because you're in cosplay, there's that little bit of a barrier. There's a little bit of a comfort level where it's not necessarily you out there. It's the character of cosplay, which always helps. I don't know what that is. It's just such an amazing difference. And speaking of cosplay, if you've spent any time on Rockette Fox's website, you'll know that, and I think there's even a gallery that is put around basically these are some of like the costumes, and the makeup is amazing. I think one of the very first ones, you've got the dripping like eyeliner, which if it's done well always amazes me. I love that look so much. So obviously that's a big influence in what you do, is making sure that the look and the costuming is there. Do you design a lot of your own clothing? Do you create those the clothing at all?
So mostly these days I'll design the makeup looks and kind of do found things. So I'll thrift a lot of stuff, I'll find a lot of things, and then I'll put together looks just based on a lot of stuff that I find and put it together that way, because I just don't have a lot of patience for sewing a lot of things in the same way that I used to.
Right.
And to that end, I've not built as many cosplays lately as I would like, because I straight just don't have the time. But I do love putting things together. I love putting looks together. getting different vibes from them, getting different aesthetics and things like that, and just kind of playing with that.
Well, and that's kind of the thing. That's the reason why I asked, is because the look is so total. I'm like, wait, did she actually make the clothing to go along with that? Because it is, to a T, it's perfect. Like, it is just such a good, I'm going to say ensemble. I don't know if that's the right word. I'm going to stick with that one, though. It's a good ensemble.
I feel like it makes sense. I feel like it fits.
But I've always been so impressed on the Thursdays, the amount of effort that both you and Ellen put into the makeup and the costumes. You always look so in character and just so on form. It's absolutely amazing to see.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much. And and Ellen too, with those lights.
Okay.
That is out of control. That is out of control, and I love it.
I had no idea that there were lights coming, and I was like, wait, is that reflection? Like, wait, are we actually seeing lights on her face right now? Like, that is nuts.
Lights.
Face lights.
Yeah.
All right, that's, look, tomorrow when the show's going on, because everybody here in chat's going to be there tomorrow, 4 p.m. Pacific. Everyone's going to be there. Face lights. We got to remember face lights. That's going to go in the chat.
Face lights. Like, it's real when the face lights have come out.
So, speaking of the Cyberpunk stream that happens tomorrow, 4 p.m. Pacific, right here on twitch.tv/Syrinscape, what other shows are you currently doing? Because I know that's not your only one. You've got other projects that are happening.
Yeah, so coming up right now I'm on break from this one, but coming up in September, I believe, we're going to be starting on season 2 of Court of the Shadowfae over on Kobold Press, which super excited about. We were initially just going to have one season, and then one season simply was not enough. So, going to be doing that again.
That's awesome. We like the folks at Kobold. They're good people.
Oh, it is. It is a blast. It has been an absolute blast. And I actually, the GM for that one, Little Red Dot, I met and had played with as another player in City of Light and Shadows over on Trooper SJP's channel, which I had been a cast member of over there for, season 4 ? I want to say is going on of that now. I was in that run for about 3 seasons, I want to say. Nice. But that is a really cool one. It's based on the Fate system, and
nice.
it is just back in a new season right now. But it's essentially following resistance members in Nazi-occupied Paris during World War II, and it's clutch. It is really good. And Trooper is an incredible GM as well. So
yeah. Well then, okay. So with all of that stuff, so that leads into a little bit of the issue that we were having with like timing and getting schedules worked out and all that kind of stuff, just because there's so much stuff, and also apparently vacation, which we didn't know that she was going to be out of town, and also, hey, really quick, it's the 11th right now. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's the 11th of August right now, and Monday was Rockette Fox's birthday, so happy belated birthday to you, Rockette.
Belated birthday.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. That's true. I am a year older than I was on Sunday.
Finally 21. You can get rid of your fake ID. That's amazing. Congratulations.
That's right. I can now drink legally. I can vote. I can drive. I can do all of the things that all the big kids do. I can get a job. Well, we'll see about that.
Yeah, well. So along with all of that, are there things that I mean, because obviously behind the scenes you're probably still working on a lot of other stuff, and a lot of that stuff you can find on the website, which I've got right there. Rockette. Did I spell that wrong? No. Wait, did I?
No, it looks right to me.
Okay. I wasn't used to seeing it all in one word and lowercase, and I just looked over and I was like, and like it was like a slow push into my face, and I was like, I did the wrong. No. Okay, we're good.
Oh no, that looks right. I mean, okay. I'm not the best at spellings.
Yeah. So there's a podcast that I really, really want to hear more about from you that you have in there. Because it looks kind of fascinating, and I have not, I don't do a whole lot of podcast listening lately because I've been, work. What are you gonna do? But I'm definitely gonna get into this one. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the idea of this podcast that you're doing?
Yes. So my podcast is called Fantastically Strange, or if you want the full long name, Rockette Fox Presents Fantastically Strange. And essentially, I'm on the second season of it. Or if I want to pretend like I didn't really slack off for the past month, maybe going into season 3. But essentially, it's stories that are. So it started off being kind of historical and scientific stories that are both strange and fantastical. The first season started off with stories such as cows with eyeballs painted on their backsides so that they would not be stalked as often by predators such as lions and things like that. And just looking up these stories, researching them, and then retelling them and things like that. And then in season 2, which is this most recent season, I've been doing more interviews with people who just are both fantastic and strange and have really interesting things to say. So the last episode that is up, I went out on the field with a friend of mine who has been researching copperhead snakes. And so I went out with her as she was kind of going about and doing the tracking of these snakes out in the field and just talking to her about why it's important work to do, what goes into researching these snakes and all of this sort of thing.
Wow.
Sounds fantastic.
And
you must get to meet some amazing. You must get to meet some absolutely amazing people as well. Then when you're doing that and having these interviews,
it has been a blast. Well, and I some of the ones I have scheduled coming up. I have one as soon as I get back in town with another friend that I met, who is a death midwife. Yeah.
Interesting.
A death midwife. I say it again, slower to let it sink in dramatically.
I'm going to nod like I know what a midwife is. I don't
know
what
so essentially, what she does is meet up with both people and families of people who are kind of at the end of their lives and help with the passing process.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That is not what I thought of. Okay, yeah.
No.
Wow, I'm glad I asked because I had some ideas in my head. I'm like, maybe it's this. I did not see that. Boy, that's a heavy episode, right? I mean, that's got to be.
That is fantastically strange.
It is. Well, and the thing too is there's elements of it that are heavy, but at the same time, there's something about it that can also be very very much about celebrating somebody's life, and things like that as well. So
that is actually, I get that's the difference in personality where my brain's like, that sounds like it could be really dark, but then it's like, well, no, it's specifically not meant to be dark. Like their whole purpose is probably more upbeat than where my brain first goes. So I guess I wouldn't be a good midwife. Maybe I think.
Well, and it helps to be super upbeat and just when you're hanging with real gothy people, it's and you're collecting a lot of bones and skulls and things, and you're really into
that's true,
the dark stuff.
And I assume I mean if you go to rockettefox.com you can find the podcast there, but is it available in all different podcast link places that you would normally find them?
Yeah, it is on all of your favorite and even some of your less favorite podcast locations. And if it is not, you can hit me up and I will make sure that it gets to wherever it should be.
Awesome.
Nice.
That is awesome. So yeah, that is going to be probably the next thing that I start listening to is because it does sound incredible. I was starting to read about it and I was like, well, no, you know what? I want to hear from Rockette herself about this, and it does actually sound amazing. So,
I know you've always mentioned it when you're giving your credits in, obviously in the Cyberpunk game. It's always sounded exciting, but I wasn't too sure what it is. But yeah, now you've actually described it more. I'm definitely going to have to take a listen to those myself.
Mm-hmm. Yes, please do. It's something I've been super proud of, and wanting to, now that last month was hairy, and that it was super busy, but now that things are calming down a little bit. Maybe catching back up on it. So
Yeah. So then, okay, so I think one of the things I definitely want to mention, because I think as a creator, as somebody that, puts a lot of their own personality and talent into things to say, here, I made this, you need to enjoy this now, because I think it's amazing. I love the platform. I love Patreon. I think it's so important for creators to still be able to do content and all of that sort of thing. You have a Patreon.
yes.
Okay, let me, because I had this link and then it disappeared on me. In fact, one of my files just
It's gone into hiding.
So hang on. Well, we'll edit this part out. YouTube won't even see this stuff. So, hey, Twitch, how's it going? Welcome behind the scenes production stuff.
Which gets all the juiciest of content.
It is so scandalous and behind the scenes. It's me opening a browser. All right, so here we go. I'm going to put that in there. So that is a link to your Patreon. I 100% encourage people to give a little support to Rockette, because it is there's some amazing stuff, and also make sure you go to the website too, because you'll see a lot of stuff there. So along with that, so what do you do, like Patreon specials and things like that for your patrons?
Oh, absolutely. I love my people. I love everybody. All my babies equally, but my Patreon babies just a little bit more.
Exactly.
So I have on there, I have a tier for people who are just interested in bonus Fantastically Strange episodes. Or not necessarily full episodes, but for the stories that are just the historical and scientific stories, normally the outline is about 3 stories on an episode, and then I would do an extra story that I would put on the Patreon for my lovely people. And then when I started doing the interviews, if you wanted to see the video of that interview and not just listen to the audio, you would have access to that on the Patreon.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I have that up there for but only $1 a month. That's less than a cheeseburger. And
Rockette,
then also
that's a deal at twice the price. Let me just say that right now.
Yeah,
that is a good
twice the price. a veritable deal. But I also have a tier on there where I do like monthly sticker, and then like a free, which at the same one is a free digital print every month. 20% off the store, which has all sorts of awesome, goofy, weird stuff. And then there's also other kind of content that's up there too. One of the things I did last year is that we ended up having a fully cast read of Shakespeare's The Tempest that was completely actor cast, and then I did a series of original illustrations that went up with it. And we recorded that, and then that's up there as well for anybody who wants to watch it.
That's really cool.
That's really cool.
And
yeah.
And you did mention the store. I want to make sure that on your website there's a store. You've got some merch on there, some really cool stuff too. Some good looking art, and I always wear lapel pins. I always wear an enamel. Like I switch out this pin usually, and I'm like, I need to get a pin. I definitely need to get on there and get a pin.
Do it. The pins are awesome.
Yeah, they definitely are. So, look, don't be surprised if one of these days I'm going to show up right here on this very stream and I've got a Rockette Fox lapel pin there.
Yeah.
So because they are pretty amazing. So yeah, and then also really quick, if people are wanting to get their weekly fix of Rockette Fox, they can come here. They can obviously come here every Thursday for the Cyberpunk stream. Are there any other ongoing current things that you've got going on right now every week as far as shows?
Pretty much just over on my own channel, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday afternoons. I'll be real with you. I'm doing a lot of Minecraft these days. Minecraft.
Well,
I can't quit you, Minecraft.
Oh, I still pay for my realm. Like I still have to pay for the realm. I'm not going to let that go. But I will say,
you do too. I haven't even been on it in a long time.
Well, let's be honest. We were discussing today. Me and Dan need to get back to it at some point because I think we definitely need to go back to Minecraft.
Yeah, for sure. And I remember I got the note because I think I started following your channel when you joined into the Cyberpunk stream, and then I got the notifications like, oh, Rockette Fox is streaming, and I went on there, and you were playing Minecraft, and it was going about 5 frames a second, and I was like, oh, okay, like this.
That's pretty generous, but thank you.
but it was fun. It was engaging, and it was fun to watch you play and everything. And then you were like, one time I came on, you're like, I'm gonna get a new rig and blah blah blah. And then you mentioned in the Cyberpunk stream you were getting a new rig. And I remember I came back for that show when after you got it all set up. Oh my gosh, the setup that you have on your Minecraft game is gorgeous. It looks so good. I love it so much. So, yeah, you know what? Actually, everybody in the chat right now, just click on Rockette Fox's name and give her a follow because you're going to want to make sure that you check out that Minecraft content. It's really good. And then, and what else can we find you doing on your channel aside from Minecraft, if anything?
Well, yeah, no. So I've been doing a lot of Minecraft. I do switch over to Stardew Valley. I've got a farm that's been going for in-game about 5 years, I want to say. I'm rolling in mods. I have so many mods. I am rich in mods. And since I switched over to my streaming rig that I built myself, I just want to go ahead and slide that across to you.
Oh, nice.
That's right. But now that I'm on a PC, I'm super excited because there are actual other games that I can actually play. Because I was running off of a Mac before, and there are just some things you cannot do.
That's rough sometimes.
Yeah, so I'm wanting to. Honestly, I would love to do a run of the Tiny Tina DLC from Borderlands, the Bunkers and Badasses one. Like that would be my jam. I've never played this will eat me. This will eat my soul. But I have had some people mention Skyrim to me.
I've just restarted
and I know that it will eat me for the rest of my life. But I'm curious. I'm Skyrim curious. I haven't yet taken an arrow to the knee, so you know.
I love that game so much. And also I like Fallout. New Vegas is, in my opinion, the better of all of them. But Fallout and
I've heard good things.
Yeah, it's so fun.
Yes.
It's so yeah, they're on the horizon now because of this new rig that you built yourself, which I respect that a lot. I think because I did that a few times. And then with my latest one that I use here for this whole setup, I was like, no, I'm just going to buy a station. Like, I'm just going to have somebody build it for me because it gets scary. Like, the more you put into it, the scarier it gets. So I'm like, I got you. Like, the ones I built were like, oh, I broke that. All right. It's not that big of a deal. But when it gets important, I don't trust myself. So there's
it was honestly easier than I was expecting. Like, I pulled up a YouTube video and you just put the things where they go. Like for some reason, I was expecting it to be much more mysterious than that.
Yeah.
Lego.
Capricious Nature saying, I always saw Hades based on Tiny Tina.
That is very true. It's honestly, I've always seen Hades based on a mixture of Tiny Tina and Jinx from League of Legends.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Regardless of what the influences are, Hades is an awesome addition to the cast as always. So, I think
she's one of my favorites.
Yeah. So even more reason to follow Rockette on Twitch because there's some things coming now that you've got a fully operational battle station, which is amazing. And then, aside from that, is there anything that we haven't covered? I mean, I say that like we just ran through some really quick stuff. We've been talking for like 45 minutes. Is there anything else that you want to cover that I might have glossed over by some chance?
Oh, gosh, I don't think so. Let's see. I don't think so.
Well, that's, here's the thing. It's supposed to be a fun, casual chat, and we don't need to work to come up with something. If you come up with something later, though, just let us know. We'll have you back on the show, and we'll do another one. So
Definitely, yeah.
I would love to. So,
well, Rockette, even though you're on the road, as they say, and you're not at your home base, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down and chat with us. I really appreciate you doing that. That's above and beyond.
Yeah, it's been great having you with us, especially as I say, with you not being at home at the moment. So it's really appreciated.
yeah, no, it's an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for joining us. You Twitch people, hang out for a second. We'll be talking to you in a second. But everybody on YouTube that's watching this, why don't you watching us live next time? Join us on Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Pacific, and you can see all of this stuff and watch the stuff that I cut out because it's not funny or it's boring or I messed something up. You can see all that stuff live and join us on Wednesdays. And Rockette, thank you so much for hanging out with us, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, cannot wait.
We
See
will.
everybody there.
Yeah, you'll be there. Okay. And on that note, right. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. We will talk to you again next time. Goodbye.
Night all.